Welcome back. Continuing with the women who brought us to today, we'll be talking about First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt today. Wife of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Eleanor was a leader in her own right and involved in numerous humanitarian causes throughout her life. She was an early champion of the civil rights movement, as well as an advocate for American workers, the poor, young people, and women during the Great Depression. This was a woman beyond her time. She believed in equality regardless of your gender, race, or social status in a time when half the country was segregated and women couldn't own property or open their own bank accounts. Eleanor Roosevelt was one of many who revolutionized thinking, questioned prejudice, and actively fought oppression. She was a woman who led by example. Dubbed the First Lady of the World, Eleanor Roosevelt used her platform as First Lady of the United States and as a member of the wealthy and prominent Roosevelt family to advocate for human and civil rights. She was a prolific author, speaker, and humanitarian. One of Eleanor's contributions to the nation came in the form of the tireless work she put into initiatives aimed at educating young girls. In 1927, she partnered with Nancy Cook and Marion Dickerman to acquire the Todhunter School for Girls. The school prided itself on giving top-notch courses to girls who were just about to enter college. Eleanor also tutored courses such as history and American literature in the school. A massive women's rights advocate, she instilled in the girls a sense of social involvement, critical and independent thinking. When Franklin took office as president in 1933, Eleanor dramatically changed the role of the First Lady. Not content to stay in the background and handle domestic matters, she gave press conferences and spoke out for human rights, children's causes, and women's issues, working on behalf of the League of Women's Voters. In the White House, she was one of the most active First Ladies in history and worked for political, racial, and social justices. After President Roosevelt's death, Eleanor was a delegate to the United Nations and continued to serve as an advocate for a wide range of human rights issues. In 1939, when the Daughters of the American Revolution refused to let Marian Anderson, an African-American opera singer, perform in Constitution Hall, Eleanor resigned her membership and arranged to hold a concert for her at the nearby Lincoln Memorial. The event turned into a massive outdoor celebration attended by 75,000 people. On another occasion, when local officials in Alabama insisted that seating at a public meeting be segregated by race, Eleanor carried a folding chair to all sessions and carefully placed it in the center aisle. To drum home her message of desegregation, she often invited African American community leaders, students, artists, and workers to the White House. She used her My Day column to call for more funding to predominantly Black schools. Her defense of the rights of African Americans, youths, and the poor helped to bring groups into government that formerly had been alienated from the political process. Roosevelt's political activism did not end with her husband's death in 1945. Appointed by President Harry S. Truman in 1946, she served for more than a decade as a delegate to the United Nations, the institution established by her husband, and embraced the cause of world peace. She not only chaired the United Nations Human Rights Commission, she also helped write the 1948 United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. Roosevelt's continued commitment to racial justice was evident in her civil rights work and efforts to push Washington to take swifter actions in housing desegregation and protections for freedom riders and other activists. In 1960, at the request of President John F. Kennedy, she chaired the President's Commission on the Statuses of Women, which released a groundbreaking study about gender discrimination a year after her death in 1963. She also worked on the Equal Pay Act, which was passed that same year. Kennedy nominated Roosevelt for the Nobel Peace Prize, and though she did not win, she remained at the top of national polls, ranking the most respected woman in America decades after her death. Eleanor Roosevelt sadly died when she was 78, but her contributions are seen across communities and especially in public health. One of the main purposes of Two Rivers Public Health Department is to have a healthier community for all. It has been said that public service is for everyone, even those who aren't like you. And personally, I think Eleanor Roosevelt fought for that. In her time as First Lady, there were very few people who could deny her or stop her once she had set her mind to something. Never allow a person to tell you no who doesn't have the power to say yes. Eleanor Roosevelt. Until next time.